Roads and wild animals are not usually a particularly great combination. Unfortunately for most animals, cars just seem to be especially efficient at squashing living things into the asphalt rather than giving them an opportunity for an incredible encounter. But every once in a while, the tables are turned, and wild animals get the upper hand in that relationship. Fortunately for us, there are people around to film it and put it on the internet. From a heart-stopping run-in with a tiger to a grumpy ram staging a protest, here are 5 most incredible encounters with wild animals on the road. Cheeky elephant stops passing trucks to steal bundles of sugarcane. You gotta love an animal with an initiative. This elephant has the swagger and the confidence of a traffic cop making a routine stop on a busy highway. Drivers on this road in Thailand have to contend with a nosy elephant with a penchant for stopping traffic and then rummaging through trailers. The big animal took his time wandering casually through the trucks, passing by the wildlife sanctuary where he lives. He then took a look in a couple vehicles before spotting a truck laden with bundles of sugarcane and cassava. Holding up an authoritative trunk, the elephant then stopped the driver and proceeded to inspect the contents. Pulling down samples of its cargo, presumably to carry out a quality control exercise, after tasting some of the sugarcane, he then helped himself to a bit more before allowing the vehicles to then continue on their way. It seems as though this elephant has figured out quite an effective personal snack delivery service. Perhaps the highway bandit should get himself a mask and a nice pointy hat as well. Bison Fight halts traffic on Yellowstone Road. Bison, well, they are absolutely massive. These gigantic beasts can weigh a whopping 2,000 pounds, so if a couple of big fat male bison begin kicking it off in front of you, it can be quite a sight. Yellowstone Park in the United States is home to about 5,000 of these bison, and spotting a herd of these big animals lumbering across the landscape's not really that unusual. However, seeing a fight break out between 2 rival males on the road right in front of your vehicle, that's a little bit less common. These gargantuan creatures wallop each other with such force that one of them is literally lifted off the road and thrown to the ground on the opposite side. As bison are able to run at speeds of about 30 miles an hour, these hulking creatures get especially grouchy during mating season, and it's not really recommended that you get too close. Even being in a vehicle at this distance would likely do little good to protect you from the full force and hefty weight of a bison if it landed on your car. That's going to be a big crunch, and it's going to sting a little bit. Terrifying moment tiger chases motorbiker down road. These motorcyclists would narrowly avoid a big catastrophe when out for a casual ride by the forest in India. Good grief, it's a heart-stoppingly anxious few seconds of film, and you can only imagine how it must feel to be pursued by a tiger. These people, though, they actually know how it feels. This incredible encounter would be filmed by the Forest Department officials near a wildlife sanctuary in India, and there are currently believed to be 72 Bengal tigers living in that area. An enormous Bengal tiger sprinting through the forest as the motorbike travels along the road would be filmed by the passenger on the back of the bike. And that's when the tiger suddenly leaps out of the trees and into the road immediately behind the motorcycle. Thundering along at enormous speeds, there's a chilling moment when it looks as though the tiger might catch up with the bike. As the tiger sprints closer, it suddenly then veers off again into the forest on the other side of the road. Tigers can actually run up to 40 miles per hour, which is as fast as some mopeds' top speeds. No doubt he was probably just showing that he could have gotten them, you know, if he wanted to. About 1 million road traffic accidents in the United States are caused by deer every year, which is kind of insane. Who's letting these animals drive anyways, am I right? Captured on a dash cam, this crazy footage shows the terrifying moment when a whole herd of deer come hurtling out of the forest and into the path of oncoming traffic. Shot in Poland, these deer almost cause a pileup when they fail to look both ways before crossing the street. But unlike some incidents, it seems as though these guys have some pretty nifty evasive maneuvers in their skill set. Just look, there are a couple of deer that hurtle over the BMW in front without even breaking their stride. One of the herd, however, has a less elegant landing and winds up sat on top of the BMW, a bit surprised by the whole event. He quickly thinks better of this road crossing business and then hot-foots it back to the safety of the forest. Looking to all intents and purposes like a group of free runners, these deer are actually very fortunate to get away with all of their numbers intact. Thousands of deer are killed on the roads annually, and collisions with deer cause 200 human deaths in the United States each year. It's basically the same all the world over. These guys just keep on leaping in front of vehicles. They could really do with a crossing guard. Riders encounter with angry ram. Looks like war's been declared between the dirt bikers and this one particularly angry ram in Nelson, New Zealand. The furious ram has had quite enough of these rude bikers intruding on his territory and polluting his peaceful forest with all that noise. And he's staging a one-sheep protest. He's getting quite the reputation for his efforts as well. Footage shows a biker traveling along a forest path when the ram hears him approach and then decides that enough is enough, because he steps right into the middle of the track, barring the way. For a few moments, it's a classic standoff. The two opponents eye each other, waiting to see who'll make the first move, ready to outgun the other one. The ram takes his first charge toward the bike, knocking the rider down and leaving the offending vehicle on the ground. That's 1-0 for the ram. It then becomes a sort of wrestling match. The biker seems to be trying to push the angry sheep back into the forest so he can carry on his ride, and the sheep is having none of it, and the battle just rages on. Eventually a stalemate is reached and we await the next one. It seems as though the dirt bikers have now attached a camera to the ram, so the footage has got even weirder as we now get a sheep's eye view of the fight. Which side are you rooting for in this one? See you later, alligator. That was an adrenaline-fueled experience. Have you ever had a close encounter with a wild animal, and was it too close for comfort? Let me know all about it in the comments below. Be sure to check out the other cool stuff showing up on the screen, and I'll see you next time.